Hello, welcome or welcome back to this channel. Welcome to this video. I hope you're gonna enjoy. In this video, I'm gonna talk you through the books that I want to read before the year is over because tomorrow, it's November. Okay, so by the time this video is posted, it's November because I'm posting this tomorrow. So that's kind of crazy. But in the last 2 months of the year, I want to read, I think we have 13 books right here. I realistically know that I am not gonna get to all of these, but I need to get at least, let's say 7 of them done, because I just want to make a dent in my physical TBR, and it's not happening if I don't read these kind of books. Again, I hope you're gonna enjoy. Let's just get into it. The first section that we're gonna start with is thriller. I only have one thriller book on this pile because I like to delve my toes into thrillers once every, let's say 2-3 months. But I don't do it often, and I've recently read a thriller, and that is like my thriller kick for the rest of the month. So I added one of them to this, and I feel like I can achieve to read this. So it's The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I have talked numerous times about this book on this channel, and about the fact that I have read a Riley Sager book before, and I didn't enjoy it at all. I thought it was okay up until the end, and then I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because the plot twist, they were definitely plot twisting, but they were plot twisting a little bit too hard in a way that made me cringe. I just thought it was so unrealistic, and of course it's fiction, it's gonna be unrealistic, but unrealistic to the point that it was fucking funny for how many plot twists happened, and it was just ridiculous to me. And I've said that numerous times before, and I still think that, but I want to give Riley Sager a second and third chance. I've also bought another book that Riley Sager wrote. It's the only one left. I've heard more positive things about that one than about this one, but I want to try this one first, so I have something good to look forward to, I guess. I am excited, but I'm also kind of scared, so I hope I'm gonna get to this before the end of the year. Now we're moving into fantasy, because that section was already over of the thrillers. We don't have many fantasies as well. The majority of the stack is romance, because the main genre that I read is romance for some reason. So we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Catching Fire, both by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel to The Hunger Games, and this is the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. The plan was at first to only put this book on the TBR, but I was like, yeah, fuck it. We're gonna add this book, and I also want to mention that I do want to finish the series before the end of the year. So the last one is Mockingjay, and I do also want to read that, but I don't own it yet. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a really, really good time, a little bit of an aggressive time with the Hunger Games, you know? This book is about President Snow, the villain in the main trilogy, and this one is still about Katniss and Peeta, I think, and like the love triangle between them, and what was his name? Gil. That's these ones. Oh my god, I am so excited. Then we have another fantasy. It's Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I may have bought the whole series. I bought it on Vinted, so I have an excuse. Like, it was cheap. It was only 20 euros for the whole series. So I was like, let's just buy it. I don't own it yet because it hasn't been sent yet, but I have bought it, and I'm really, really excited to own it. For now, I have only put this book on my TBR because I just want to get into the series first. So, Vampire Academy, this is obviously about a Vampire Academy. It's basically about this badass kind of female, and she is in training in this Vampire Academy to protect her best friends. And her best friend is a vampire princess, I think, so she's training to be her bodyguard. But there's also like a little romance. I just think it's gonna be like a fun little time, not too serious, you know, that kind of time. Okay, now we're diving into the romantasy. So we have The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. The only reason I put this in the romantasy stack and not the romance stack is because there are some magical elements in this. I don't know how much of it is gonna happen in this book, because I remember in the first book, favorite book of all time by the way, in the first book there were some magical elements because the love interest had like these shadows cloaked. He was cloaked in shadows, and that was the magical element. But I don't know what magical elements will be in this book, or if there will be any magical elements. But I do know that it's set in this fantasy world and in a fictional world. Already know that I love Trisha Levenseller's writing style. Already know that I love the first book, like, with my whole heart, soul, body, everything in me. This is about the sister of the main character in the first book, and I think she's also like a baddie. Like Alessandra in the first book, she was a baddie, but I also think that she's a baddie. And I've also heard that people enjoyed this more than they did The Shadows Between Us. And I'm just really excited. I don't think I will enjoy this more than The Shadows Between Us because, come on, Shadows Between Us, literal perfection to me. I do hope it's gonna get like a 5-star rating. The next and the last section is romance. So I want to start off with a Christmas romance. I only have one of those. His Are Ones for Me by Alison Cockram, I think. It sounds so interesting. So it's a sapphic romance. Perfection. I don't read enough sapphic romances. So if you have any recommendations at all, please mention them down below, because I am always on the lookout for a good sapphic romance, for a good fantasy romance, for any recommendation, to be honest. It's basically about this woman. She fake dates this guy. But hold up. Wait a second. She fake dates this guy. She meets his sister, and that's the one that she has a relationship with. It sounds like it's gonna be kind of cliche. I don't know if the brother and the woman will keep dating each other when the woman and the other woman are attracted to each other, but I'm interested to find out how that is gonna work, how that is gonna play out in this scenario. And I swear to God, if I don't get to this book this year, I'm gonna fucking riot. This one is for December, so I already have planned out that this is gonna be a Christmas time read. I'm probably gonna read this when it's Christmas, when it's kind of snowing outside. To stay on the theme of winter, we have an ice hockey and figure skater romance. So this is Unsteady by Peyton Corrine. This has some great anxiety representation, apparently, some great trauma representation, and I just feel like I'm gonna enjoy the crap out of this book. I feel like I could see myself in these characters, in this guy character who has these panic attacks. I feel like I'll find myself in this book, and I really, really hope the representation is really good, and then it's gonna be something that I find myself in, because I'm always on the lookout for something like that is heartfelt, but also so cozy, and I haven't found many of them that have some anxiety representation, that have trauma representation, so I need to read more of them, and I think this is a great start for doing that. So this is Unravel Me by Becca Mack. This is the third one in the Playing for Keeps series, I think. I read the first and second one. The first one was a 4.75, and then the second one was a bit of a disappointment. I just felt like the chemistry between the characters wasn't there at all. It was still like a 3.75 star read, but I just hoped for more. And I hope that this book will give me the feelings that I'm hoping for. I have no clue what this is about. No clue at all. So I cannot tell you what this is about. Oh, wait! Oh, this is about this really cute character in the previous book. It's about Adam, and I really liked Adam in the previous books, so I'm really interested to see how this will turn out. Also, it's about a single mom. Adam is gonna be a stepdad. Okay, I love that. The Favor by Suzanne Wright. I have owned this book for a while now. I think maybe like more than half a year. And I'm really excited about this because Larry reads, obviously Larissa, we all know her, we all love her. She talks about this book very positively, and I heard that and immediately went to buy this book. I have no clue what this is about. I feel like it's a billionaire romance. It's like about a CEO and an assistant? I'm assuming things. Yes, she's a personal assistant. Oh my God, I love that. That makes for some spicy situations, for some interesting situations. I don't have much else to say about this book, honestly, but I'm just really excited to start it. I know that I need to read this book, okay? The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I wouldn't be surprised if the end of the year comes around and I haven't read this yet. I have such high expectations, and when I have high expectations about a book, I'm putting it off because I don't want to ruin those expectations when I have read the book and it's not as good as I wanted it to be. I'm sure everyone has heard about this book by now, but it's about this apartment that is set in the future but also in the past, kind of. I'm not explaining this correctly, but it's about this woman. She gets this apartment from her aunt, and her aunt says that it's like a magical apartment, and she's like, oh yeah, right. So she goes into that apartment, everything is right, then she goes out of it, she goes into it again. The apartment is completely remodeled. There's a guy in that apartment who's 7 years in the past, so the 7-year slip. And it only happens in that apartment. Like, if she steps out of that apartment, she's in the now timeline. But once she's in that apartment, not every time, but a lot of the times that she's in that apartment, she will be with that guy who is 7 years in the past. This is a 5-star prediction, so I have really high hopes. And I just hope those expectations will be met. And I'm scared to start it because I hope that it will be met. But yeah. We'll just have to see what it's gonna be. I'm probably gonna vlog it when I read this, so let me know if you want that. So yeah, that was this book. The Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. I've read The Friend Zone and then the whole of the Part of Your World series, you know? I like The Friend Zone. I didn't love it at all. I gave it a 3.25, I think, but maybe it would have been a 3 if I had rated it fairly, because it was Abby Jimenez, I wanted to rate it higher than a 3. I have heard way more positive things about this book than The Friend Zone, so I am really looking forward to reading this. I know who this is going to be about. I'm not going to tell you because if you haven't read The Friend Zone, it will be a major spoiler for you if you read this book. So if you want to read the first book as well, read that one first and then this one, because otherwise you will be spoiled for the whole entire plot twist in book 1. I just think this sounds like a good time and I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. At least I hope so. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up too high. I just hope it's gonna be at least a 3.5. And then the last one we have, I won't talk too much about this one because I've already talked about it a lot. It's Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Rose Hill series. I read Elsie Silver's entire backlist except for this one. I still need to read this one. And I am beyond excited for it. This is also a 5-star prediction. I don't give 5 stars very often. So just me saying that 3 of these books are 5-star predictions, it's kind of brave of me. It's about a famous pop star and this man in the small town. So the man in the small town, it's Weston, and then the pop star is Skylar. The way they meet is really cute. I've already heard about it. It's basically about Skylar wants to take this picture of this bear, I think, and Weston is like, why are you doing that? That is so fucking dangerous. And that's how they meet. It's like instant chemistry, I guess, instant attraction. I just hope it's gonna be 5 stars, and if not 5 stars, at least like a 4, I guess. I just talked for 20 minutes. Those were the books that I wanted to talk about. Those were the books that I want to read before the end of the year. I'll grab the stack right now. Look at that. This is a stack of books that I want to read before the end of the year. I am sure that I'm not going to get to all of these, as I've already mentioned, but it's still fun to make this kind of video. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to watch more of me, subscribe and like this video, of course, if you enjoyed. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!